Hi, good morning guys, rise and shine. Welcome to Get Active TV Monday show. So my name is Betsy and I'm a full-time Pilates instructor. I'm going to lead you into the first half of the workout today, and then I'll be joined by Dawn who will be leading the second half with me. Alright, so I hope you guys had a good week, and as we are coming to the approaching the end of the circuit breaker, I hope things are able to slowly resume back to normal. But I also do hope you guys have actually built a habit to work out regularly, and that you are still following our workouts with us. Okay, so let's get started. So I'm going to start by sitting on the mat facing to the side so you can see me right from the side. Okay, I'm going to keep my knees bent, my feet is going to relax on the floor, legs are hip distance width apart, and I'm really going to lengthen up my spine. Alright, so when I say lengthening up, it doesn't mean I'm just, pushing my chest bone forward. I'm really feeling the length from my tailbone all the way through the crown of my head. Again, I'm just going to have my hands right to the front, and I'm just going to cue you first. You're going to bring one hand over to behind your body about 45 degrees out, and I'm going to bring the other hand to the other side. Alright, so now I'm in a slightly inclined position. So we're going to do a little bit of extension of the spine first. Okay, so think of pulling your navel in, and on the inhale, I'm going to send my chest bone up towards the ceiling. And slowly drop my neck back a little bit to where you're comfortable. Exhale, now I'm just going to bend my elbows round the spine and tuck my belly button in. Alright, inhale, now slowly sequentially lengthen and extend. Exhale, now bend the elbows, soften, and now soften the ribs as you crunch. Okay, 3 more times. Inhale. My extension isn't great. And exhale, now rounding the back, scoop your abdominals. Last 2 here. Inhale. And exhale. Last one here. Inhale. Now send the collarbone up towards the ceiling. And now from here, I'm just going to take my right hand up. I'm just going to twist over and turning towards my left side. And my hand is reaching towards my left. I feel a little bit of twist in my ribs. Alright, now coming back. And now place your hand down, and now I'm going to take my left away and twist over towards the right. Okay, let's do 2 more times. Place it back down again, and 3. Now this stretch feels quite good in the morning. Last one here, and 4. Good, and inhale, coming back in. Now slowly lengthen up the spine, straighten out my legs. And now let's do a little bit of twist, more twisting here. Okay, so I'm going to have my right right knee bent and right ankle tucked against my left knee. Now I'm going to just use the pulling of my knee in to try to lengthen out my spine here. So from here, I'm just going to twist over towards the right, bring my left hand towards my right knee, and I'm going to keep lengthening my spine, rotate, and try to look back. Alright, we relax and do 2 more times, and now exhale. Sorry, I'm facing away from the camera right from the start. 1 more time here, and now rotate. Keep lengthening and keep shining your chest up towards the back wall. And inhale, now coming back in. Now let's change sides. So let's bring our left knee to bend, left ankle to tuck outside on my right knee. And I'm going to continue to lengthen the spine, rotate over towards the left. Alright, inhale, gently relax. 2 more times, and rotate and keep sitting tall left. Use your hands to push you away from the floor. Inhale and return. Last one here, and rotate. And coming back in. Very good. Now let's release those legs. And now I'm just going to do a forward stretch. So I'm keeping both legs straight as best as I can. Now, if it's very hard for you to sit tall with your knees straight, you can bend them slightly, alright? It really depends on your flexibility. So I'm going to lengthen up my spine from my tailbone again. And I'm going to keep both knees straight. So inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, now I'm just going to round forward. And start by feeling a stretch in the middle part of your spine. Okay, from here I'm pulling my abdominals in. Now I'm just going to reach forward a little bit more now as I feel the stretch coming down my lower back. So if this is hard for you, just do where you can. You don't have to touch your toes. Okay, so I'm gently pulsing forward. And some of you feel more lower back stretch than hamstrings. Really depends. Alright, let's go for 5 more times. And 5, 4, grab wherever you can, stay there. And just gently breathe into the parts of your body where you feel there is a stretch. Okay? Holding it there, breathing. And exhale out. One more time, inhale. And exhale. Last one breath here, inhale. See whether you can go a little bit lower. And exhale now, up through the mouth. Now slowly, sequentially stack the spine up from tail to head. And we return. Very good. Now let's open our legs out, slightly wider than the mat width. And I'm going to dorsiflex my ankles so my toes are pointing up towards the ceiling. And I'm going to have my hands open up to the sides. So from here, like I said, if some of us have very tight hamstrings, okay, you do a lot of squats and stuff, hamstrings may get a little tight. You can slightly bend your knees and, just importantly, keep your spine lengthened up. Okay? So I'm going to keep my legs straight, although I feel a little bit of a stretch, I'm going to let them stretch out. Okay, from here, hands open out to the sides. So now I'm going to maintain my pelvis facing the wall in front, and I'm just going to slowly twist my upper half of the body. Now let's see where your range takes you. Okay, maybe let me turn to my left first so you can see me. So I'm twisting without moving my hip away, okay? So I can actually see from how you place your foot. So your legs are not supposed to move. You just twist to one side, only moving your upper half of your body. All right, inhale now, coming back in. Now let's go slowly and see whether you can increase the range. Okay, so let's keep to the same side and let's rotate towards the left. Inhale, coming back. Exhale. Inhale to return. So as you breathe in, try to think of expanding your rib cage. One more time. Okay, now let's add in a little pulse. So keeping my pelvis still facing the front wall. Okay, now I'm just going to pulse. 1, 2, 3. Notice I don't move my knees or my feet at all. Alright, let's go again. Let's pulse again to the left. 1, 2, 3. Inhale and coming back in. 2 more times. Exhale. So I'm not leading with my left hand. I'm really leading with my body and keeping my hands just there. Alright, inhale, now we return. Now let's go to the other side. So let's try on the right. Exhale, now slowly rotate. Feel the range? My right doesn't feel as comfortable. Inhale and coming back in. Okay, let's go for 4 more times. Exhale. Inhale, lengthen the spine to return. 3 more. Exhale, rotate. Inhale and back. Exhale. Now take a quick check on your feet. Alright, if they somehow shift one in front of the other, that means possibly you have moved your pelvis a little already. Alright, last one here. Inhale and now we return. Now let's add in the little pulses. So exhale, let's go 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Inhale, coming back in. And let's go for 2 more. Exhale, 1, 2, 3. Inhale, return. 1 more time. Exhale. Inhale and back. Sorry, I think I did 5, so let's do 2 more. Exhale, 1, 2, and 3. Inhale to return. Last one together. Exhale, 1, 2, 3. Inhale now, coming back in. Okay, if your arms are still here, you might feel a little tired, so you can drop it down. Okay, now let's bring it up again. So we're going to turn back to the left. So let's go. Exhale. Now rotate towards the left side as far as you can. Now keeping both sets of toes dorsiflex, both knees straight. Now I'm going to start to round my chin and slowly flex forward. Okay, so I'm adding a front crunch kind of position, and I'm reaching my right hand towards the outside of my left toes. So I'm going this direction here, and my head is kind of looking over my left leg. And I'm just going to pulse and reach again for 3, 2, 1. Inhale now, coming back into center. Let's take it to the other side. Exhale, rotate to the right. Now start to flex the spine, curl from head, upper back, middle back, lower back. I turn my back thumb to face down, and now I pulse towards the outside of my right leg. 1, 2, 3, and inhale. Now set the spine up and return back to center. Let's do 2 more. Exhale, rotate to the left. And now chin to chest. And now you reach to the outsides of your left foot. And 3, 2, And one. Inhale now. Slowly stack the spine up. Last one here. Exhale, rotate. Check your pelvis doesn't move. Turn the back thumb downwards. And now you pulse to the outside of your right leg. And 3, 2, and 1. Inhale now. Stack the spine up to center. And now you can lower your arms down. Okay, let's bring our feet back to the centers of the mat. And now I'm just going to keep my legs straight throughout. Now if that's too tough, you can bend your knees, okay? So let's keep you choose your variation. So I'm keeping my legs long, toes pointing up towards the ceiling again, sitting up tall. Now I'm going to roll down on the mat, okay? So but I'm going to do it as slow as I can, so that means you're not going to flop down, okay? Hands reaching forward, shoulders relaxed. You don't want to be tensing up. And now inhale, we stay. Exhale now, keep my feet firmly on the floor. Start to tuck the tailbone, scoop your abdominals, and slowly roll down as slow as you can. Okay, hands will reach up, circle to the side. Now we try to sit up first, okay? If this is hard for you, we have a modification for you later. I'll show you in the second rep. All right, now from here, chin to chest, keep looking at your toes. Slowly curl the spine up and sit up tall to return. Okay, now if it's hard, I'll show you the second variation. Exhale now, let's work on rolling down first again. So very slowly feel your spine going down bone by bone, lying down. Now if it's tough, bend your knees. Inhale, exhale, chin to chest, reach for your thighs, pull yourselves up and lengthen. Okay, you can still stay in this bending variation. So let's go from here. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, rolling down. I'm showing you a variation now, all right? Inhale, hand circle. Exhale now. You can keep it bent without touching your legs. If you can, that's better. All right, and last two here. So I'm going to straighten my legs again. Rolling down. Shaking as I go down. Circle the arms wide. Feel the air in the room. And now exhale, chin to chest. All to return. Last one here. Exhale now, rounding down. Rolling. And now circle the arms. And now chin to chest. And now curling up to return. Very nice. Okay. So that was just warming up the spine. Now let's keep the knees bent, okay? I'm going to roll down again. This time I'm going to challenge you, all right? Hands up. Inhale, bring your hands up towards the ceiling. Exhale, now I'm going to ask you to lift your left leg up to tabletop. Now you're going to roll up to a sit-up with only one foot down, all right? So from here, chin to chest, straighten your left leg out and roll out. And if you need to, you can lower the legs down without touching the floor. Inhale, stay. Exhale now, bend the knees slowly. Try to keep to that center line as you roll down. And return. Let's go again 2 more times. Inhale, hands up. Exhale, chin to chest. Roll. And now reach. Okay, and now slowly bend the knee. Tuck the tailbone. Try to keep to the center line as you return. One more time. Inhale, hands up. Exhale, chin to chest. If you can't roll up, you can still grab your thighs. And now up and lengthen. All right, this leg is so tired now because it wants to go down to the floor. Hold it up. And now from here, slowly rolling down and return. Okay, let's change legs. 3 times enough, right? Okay, let's bring the right leg up. So inhale, we stay here. Exhale, get ready. Chin to chest. Now I guarantee you it's going to feel different. This one is a little bit more challenging for me. As you can see earlier on, my left leg wants to come off from the floor. Okay, inhale, we stay. Exhale, now slowly tuck the tailbone. Rolling down. Now it's got something to do with our obliques on the left and right side of our waist. Okay, it might be not that balanced, so you might feel the challenge on one side more. All right, inhale. Exhale, now chin to chest. Curling up. Good. And now slowly bend the knee, tuck the tailbone, and now slowly return. It's all about that control, okay? Not going fast. One more time. Inhale. Exhale now, chin to chest. And now roll. Lift your leg up as high as you can. And now from here, slowly tuck your tailbone, round the spine to return. Okay, all these things I'm doing is to prep you for the next one. Okay? So now we're going to bring left leg up to tabletop. Right leg up to tabletop as well. Now you're going to attempt to roll up with your legs like this. Okay? So inhale, we stay. Exhale now, chin to chest. You can swing your legs down a little bit and now see whether you can roll up to what we call a half teaser. Alright, so inhale, stay sitting on your bums. Should not be on your pelvis. It should be somewhere on your tailbone and your sit bones. Alright, exhale now, slowly tuck the tailbone, keep your legs there, slowly roll down. Return. 2 more times. Inhale, exhale, chin to chest. Crunch your abdominals. You can pull your legs to help you sit up a little bit better. Hold and balance. Inhale, we stay. Exhale now, tuck the tailbone, roll the spine down as slow as you can control. One more time. Inhale. Exhale, chin to chest. Crunch. Very good. And now slowly tuck the tailbone. And now return. Now let's stay seated up, shall we? Inhale. Exhale, last one here. Chin to chest. And now we sit up. Okay, now I'd like you to pull your knees towards your chest a little bit more. So you're actually crunching your abdominals so much. Alright, inhale, reach your legs away, body goes back slightly. Exhale now, knees to chest, 1. Inhale, extend. Exhale, crunch your abdominals, 2. Extend, let's do 8 here. 3. And now out. And 4. And out. And 5. Last few here, 6. And 7. Last one here, 8. Come back in. Let's extend the legs. Stay there for 5, 4. Keep squeezing our legs together. 3, 2, and 1. And now lower the legs down. And now let's stretch forward. I was struggling in the morning. Okay, now I'm going to do the next exercise to roll you guys over. So a little bit like a backward roll. But I need to make sure those of us who have any back issues to just refrain from this exercise. Okay, if you haven't attempted this before, it might be too much, too sudden. Okay, so especially if you have very tight lower back muscles, you might feel the stretch, and if it's too muscles are not warm enough, it can be a bit dangerous as well. Okay, so you take it in your own call. Okay, so I'm just going to have my hands down on the floor. Bring my pelvis to imprint, so that means I'm pressing the spine down. There's no gap under my lower back to the mat. And now I'm just going to bring the other leg up. Okay, squeeze your knees and ankles together so your inner thighs are activated. So from here, I'm just going to extend my legs out to a diagonal without arching my back. So this is a bad position. You need to keep using your abs to press the spine down. All right, inhale, just bend the knees. Exhale, breathing out. Keep the spine pressing down into the mat. Slowly extend your legs. Keep your legs tight together. Inhale and return. Let's do 2 more. Exhale. You can see my face changing color, right? Last one here. Exhale. Now legs out. Okay, very good. And now inhale to return. Now that is the starting of the exercise. We're going to use that to help us gain some momentum to roll over. Okay, so now let's try. Your goal for the first one is just to lift your hips up a little bit away from the mat. Okay, if you can go further, let's go together. So inhale, stay here. Exhale, extend the legs out to diagonal. Now press your hands into the mat, pull the legs up, and you slowly lift your hips and lower back off the mat. Return and bring your hips down again. Okay, legs are still hanging there, abs are still working. Inhale, pull the legs up. Exhale, see whether you can go a little bit more. So you're rolling up to where your shoulder blades are still on the floor. Alright, inhale, stay. Exhale, slowly roll the spine down, bone by bone, and return. Let's go for 2 more. Inhale. Exhale, go up and over. Good. Now it's always quite a challenge to roll down slowly. So I want you to feel it. Take your time. Let's go down really, really slow without your neck lifting off. Last two. Up and over. Whew. Now this is actually quite a good stretch to the back of your neck as well. Slowly roll the spine down. Last one here, inhale. Pull the legs up, press into your arms, rolling up and over. Now, if your flexibility takes you here, okay, you're going to slowly tap those toes down behind your head if you can. I just found the floor. And I'll lift it up to parallel to the floor. Okay, let's go again. 2 more times. Now take it slow. That's it. If it doesn't feel right, you can skip this, alright? Last one here. Toes tap. And now pull. And now from here, slowly roll the spine down, bone by bone. As slow as you can control. And now return back. Okay, hands behind your knees. Roll yourself to sit up. Whew. Okay, now let's work on a little of your glutes. So I'm going to get you to turn around. We are going to get down to the mat. So we're going to have your elbows on the floor. And I'm going to be in like a supported 4-point kneeling position. Okay? And I'm going to start off with my left leg. So from here, your body is kind of like in an inclined position because your hips are higher. So try not to sink, take this chance to sink your shoulders down. You need to push into your elbows and try to gain some space between the mat towards your chest. Alright? Now I'm going to straighten my left leg out first. So I'm going to do maybe 8 reps of everything. Okay? So I'm just going to squeeze my left arm muscles to lift my left leg up as high as I can go. Today, like not very high. Okay, so from here, take note, you're not going into this position where you're arching your back. Not good, alright? You need to constantly pull your abdominals in, like you're sucking in your belly button, and you're squeezing your left butt to lift your leg up high. Okay, now I'm just going to lower down, tap 1, lift up 1, lower down 2, lift up 2, 3, 8 times, 4, 5, squeezing the butt, 6, 7, 8. Now we hold it up there as high as you can. Now we pulse it up for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold it there. Now see whether you can draw small little circles. 1, 2, 3. Try to keep the weight across your elbows to be level. 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now you always have the other direction, so let's go the other side. 1, 2, 3. Straighten your legs, point your toes. 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Oh man, I'm tired. Okay, now you're going to tap the left set of toes outside to the mat. Okay, so it's at a diagonal angle now. I'm going to pull it up and twist to the other outside end of the mat. Okay, like drawing an inverted U shape too. And now to the other side. And 3. To the other side. 4. Remember your abs, you're not supposed to let the lower back sink. Alright, 5. 6. I tell you what's funny is my right cell toes that's like shaking. 7. Last one here, and 8. And now let's hold the leg up. Now I'm going to put you on your left palm and your right elbow. Okay, now I'm going to ask you to turn the knee, tuck it into your left elbow. And now you're going to look at your leg. You're going to kick it out in the air. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, as high as you can go. 7, and 8. Alright, come back in. Bring the knee down. And now just do a shell stretch for me. Okay? If you don't feel it so much in your left leg, I actually feel on my right as well. Okay, so let's see which side you feel more. All right, now let's move to the other leg. So let's get you down your elbows again. And now find your balance, find that symmetry. Now we're going to straighten your right leg out. Okay, now remember, pull your abdominals in. You're not going to arch your back for me. Inhale, 8 times, 1, and lower, 2, lower, 3, 4, 5, warming up those glutes, and 6, and 7. Last one, you're going to hold it up there, stay there. Let's pulse 8 times, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold it there. Now we do little circles. 1, 2. Now my core is constantly engaged because I'm trying not to let the body sway with the movement of my right leg. 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now reverse circle, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Alright, now let's bring to the outsides of the right mat. And now let's pull and go over to the left. Okay, and 2. And over. By now, everything is kind of trembling. 3. And 4, as the leg goes to the right, don't let your weight in your body shift away, alright? 5. And over. 6. And over. 2 more, and 7. Squeeze the butt to lift it up high. Last one here, and 8. And over. Okay, now put yourselves on your right palm. You're going to look at your right leg. Okay, so tuck it in. Kick out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2 more, 7. Last one here, 8. Okay, come back in. I don't see my leg anymore. Okay, shall stretch and just relax. Slowly take the spine up and return. Now, I don't know whether you can feel the core segment, but as your legs are moving, your body wants to swing. Okay, so all the more you need to be engaging. Okay, so we'll start, we'll have a short break now. And then Dawn will be back to lead you into the second segment. All right, thank you very much, guys.
Welcome back. I'm Dawn. Thank you so much to Betsy earlier for giving you guys a fantastic core workout with Pilates. And now I'm going to continue on with some yoga. All right, we're going to come into a standing position now, and I'm going to have you come towards the center of your mat. All right, we're going to have your feet come together first. We'll do a little bit of balancing. But at the same time, I want you to make sure that you're still engaging your core muscles, which you used earlier, right? So while we're standing on one leg, I need you to make sure you're pushing your foot that you're standing on strongly into the ground. So punch the floor, hands are on your hips. We're gonna start by standing on your right foot, on your right leg. Lift your left leg up, grab a hold of your left foot with your right hand. I'm gonna have you just assist yourself to bring your foot closer towards your right hip. Now, if this is the maximum that you can go and you can't bring your foot any higher, that's fine. You just try your best, right? So if you're okay, let's move on. Bringing your foot against your opposite hip, you're gonna keep pressing your knee to point down towards the ground. Now, at this point, this is a really good knee stretch, but you're already balancing. So think about stability first. If you have to, just keep your big toe touching the floor on that floating leg. Now, if you're fine, extend both arms up towards the sky. So every time we lift our arms up, it's going to help us to access breathing towards our bigger lung lobes with a little bit more ease. In fact, a lot more ease, right? So try to breathe deep. Utilize the bigger lung lobes around your ribs. We're going to hold it here for another 3 more deep breaths, making sure that you're taking the breath to the bigger lung lobes and not just to the chest, like I mentioned earlier. When we are challenged, we tend to shallow breathe, right? So that's not what you want to do here. We're going to very slowly now start to take your floating leg, foot across the opposite knee. We're going to come into your seated pigeon, right? So while you come into a seated position here, I'm going to show you how it looks like from the side in a while. You're going to extend both arms towards the front. You should feel that stretch across the side of your hip on your left hip. Whichever leg that is floated, you're going to feel that stretch to the outside of that hip. Extending your arms towards the front. If you're okay, take your hands towards your chest, to the center of your chest. Fingertips and thumb tips pressing. So keep your chest open. Right? Shoulders are relaxed away from the ears. Again, we are balancing. So if you find that you're struggling here, you may tend to tense your shoulders up. Avoid that. All right? If you really have to, just have your big toe come touch the floor once again. So at least you are still working on those balancing muscles. All right? We're going to hold it here for another 2 more breaths. Ideally, you're going to be feeling that stretch on the outside of your left hip, whichever leg is floated, right? Now very slowly, we're going to come back up to a stand. Now we are still working, okay, with the right foot in front. So take your right leg towards the front of your mat. Take a big step back with your left foot. We're going to extend both legs out as wide as you possibly can. A wider stance is going to make it harder. A shorter stance is going to make it easier for yourself. We're going to extend both arms out into space. Now, if for whatever reason your arms cannot stay up at shoulder height, your shoulders have injuries, please place your hands on your hips instead. In Warrior 2, where we are right now, I need you to make a conscious effort to have your front knee pointing towards the front of your mat, and ideally in the same direction as big toe, second toe. So if that's difficult for you, just straighten the leg a little bit more, and that's fine. All right, if you can, knee over ankle. And then you will have your gaze towards your fingertips in front as well. Right? We're going to hold it here for just 2 more breaths. And I'm really working on strengthening the muscles around the legs at this point. Now for my rear leg, I'm feeling that stretch on the outside edge of my lower leg. Right? So it helps if I further turn my toes in. Right? That stretch becomes a little bit more intense. Now from here, I'm going to have you just take both hands down towards the ground. Right? Now, what I'm going to do is lift that back heel so I'm on tiptoe. Front leg, I'm going to heel toe to bring my foot towards the right side. I brought my foot towards the right side. I'm going to take both hands shoulder width apart in front. Now, if this is too much for you already, you can always lower the back knee down towards the ground. So always listen out for the options that are available for you and take the right ones, right? Back knee down easier, back leg floated harder. I'm going to take the option now to go further by bending the elbows and resting my forearms on the ground. Here's your lizard lunge. Now for those of you who can go further still, take your arms out to the side. Right arm goes under right thigh. Again, remember, you have the option to take your back knee down towards the ground. Here. Right, if you can, let's stay up for another 4. Those of you who want to fly, go into your flying lizard. 3, 2. So there are options. Take the one that's right for you. All right, and very slowly, take both hands down, back to shoulder width distance apart once more. This time I'm going to start to heel toe my right foot back to the center of the mat. I'm going to place my hands on either side of that front foot. I'm going to keep that back leg on tiptoe, but I'm going to hop it in just a wee bit. And I'm going to straighten that front leg. So if your front leg does not straighten all the way because your hamstrings are just really, really tight, that's okay. Just keep it bent. So as long as you feel the stretch here, that's just how the pose is going to look like for you for now. And then you're going to start to melt your chest closer towards your thigh as low as you can without losing that stretch to the back of your right leg. Now press your big toe down close to the ground. Those of you who are able to, you can always melt your chest towards your thigh. Right? So just see how far you can go without starting to bend that front knee too much and losing the stretch. Let's just hold it there for another one more breath. And then very slowly, you're going to start to plant the back foot down, flatten it, so the toes are pointed towards the front. I'm going to face away from you now because I'm going to take my left hand onto the ground on the inside edge of that front foot. Option, take your fingers to the ground. And if you need to make it even easier, have maybe a yoga block or a stool handy so that it makes it a lot easier for you to keep your spine straight as you now start to turn towards the right side and look up. So again, if you can, keep your hand down flat. Eyes are looking up, but if you are losing your balance, you look down towards the ground instead. We're going to hold it here for another 4 deep breaths. And 3, so I'm really making a conscious effort to extend both legs out here. I feel that stretch on the outside edge of this thigh as well as my hamstrings. And I'm getting a spine twist at the same time. And just one more breath. And very slowly coming back towards the center. I'm going to go ahead and bend that front knee. Press to come back up. I'm going to take a step forwards to the front of the mat. So we're going to repeat everything one more time on the other leg. Have the feet come towards the center, one pressing against one another. Left foot stays on the ground, right leg, pick it up. So we're going to push into that floor with that left foot. Notice how you do on this leg. Yeah? It feels different on both sides. We're going to bring your right foot across to your left hip. And if you're okay, take your hands off. All right? So you're going to push your knee to point more towards the ground. And then maybe extend both arms up towards the ceiling. Think about lifting your ribs away from your hips. Think about pushing harder into the big toe mound. And then making sure that you're not scrunching up your shoulders towards your ears also. We tend to create too much tension around the shoulders when we try too hard. So the option really is to just have your big toe come touch the floor or keep holding onto your floating leg at the foot if you need to. Let's stay here for just one more deep full breath. And then very slowly, go ahead and guide your floating leg so that the foot comes just above the knee. And then we take a seat. Extending both arms out towards the front, or perhaps having your hands come towards the center of your chest. Remember, side view, you would see that I'm trying to keep my back flat. I'm trying to keep my spine straight. And then if you need to, big toe touch the floor. So shoulders should be relaxed, and having your fingertips and thumb tips press against one another, we bring it towards the center of the chest. And just gently feeling that your hands pressing against one another helps to guide the chest to stay open. And let's hold it here for another 3 and 2. So you should be feeling that stretch now to the outside of your right hip, working on the stabilizing muscles, the balancing muscles on that standing leg. And then very slowly press to come back up. And now you're going to have your left foot in front and your right leg behind. It's going to come to this end of the mat so that I can still see you guys. All right, so right foot, take a big step back. We're going to extend both arms out into space, making sure that you have your back toes turned in once more. All right, relax your shoulders instead of tensing them up, right? Not trying too hard. If you have to try too hard, you might want to back it off a little. And then use your breath as well as a guide to let you know if you should be backing it off or not. Eyes are looking towards your left fingertips, and ideally knee over ankle for whichever leg is bent in front. We're going to hold it here for another 3, giving your muscles around that bent leg a chance to strengthen. 2, and one more breath. Before you now slowly start to take both hands down towards the ground. And remember, with your lizard lunge, you want to have your left foot heel toe towards your left side now. Back knee, if you need to, lower it down towards the ground. So there's always options that you need to take to suit your body at any one point in time. Now we're going to take the option for those of you who are more flexible to come down onto your forearms. And again, if you want to work harder, you can take your hands out to the sides and maybe even fly in your lizard for another 4, 3, 2, observe your breathing, and one more breath. And very slowly, take your hands back down onto the ground. You're going to bring your left foot back to the center, heel toe back to the middle, and then we're going to go into your pyramid pose. So go ahead and hop a baby step in with that back leg, straightening out the front. Now, make sure that with that front leg that you're not locking that knee too much, all right? So I want you to try to keep the muscles around the knee joint active and push hard into that back foot as well. So straightening that front leg, straightening that back leg, shift your right hip forwards and your left hip back. So avoid tilting your hips too much here. I want you to feel that stretch along the insertion all the way to the back of your hips, right? So the back of your thigh, the stretch should travel quite high up towards your hips. As you start to lower your chest closer towards the thigh, try to keep your back flat instead of just rounding your spine, right? So back flat, if you can, bring your forehead closer towards your knee. And then we're going to stay there for another 3, and 2, and 1. All right, and very slowly, we're going to turn. I'm going to face away from you once again. Right hand or right fingers down towards the ground as you take your left arm up. All right, so back foot, I'm going to actually flatten it this time round to look towards the ceiling. So fingers are reaching up, but you have the option of looking down towards the ground should you feel like you're losing your balance, right? So looking up does challenge your ability to balance. Looking down can help you feel more grounded. We're going to hold it here for another 3, and 2. Try to keep the front leg straight. 1. And then very slowly pressing down on that front leg to come back up and taking a step forwards to the front of your mat. So we're going to come down towards the ground now for more grounded movements. Right? So for those of you who do need cushioning for your hands or for your knees in some of the poses here, please have your towel handy with you. Right? We're going to come into a side plank first. So you should have felt in many of the poses earlier, stretches to the sides of the hips, right? And we're going to continue that now with a side plank, a variation of it. I'm going to come towards the front of the mat with both hands. I'm going to extend both legs towards the back first. So here's your plank. We're going to turn towards your left side, and your left hand comes off. For those of you who need to, keep both hands on the floor. Turn to your left. We're going to take your left foot to the front. We're going to dip the hip down, but I did not rest it down towards the floor. So while I'm here, I'm going to feel a really nice stretch across the side on the right. I'm pushing strongly into the ground with my right hand. Once I lower my hip, I'm going to lose that stretch. Right? So I'd like you to stay floated. Again, like I said, if you need to, both hands to the floor. This takes away a lot of strain on the right hand, on the right wrist. But if you're okay, rest your left hand, your left arm on your left thigh or your left knee. We're going to hold it here for another 2. So like I said earlier, stretch goes to the right side, this part here, right? All the way to the side of the hip if you're really tight as well. And one more breath. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. But I'm going to go to the other side of the mat so that I can still see you guys, right? So Go ahead back to the front of your mat once again. And then this time, you're going to turn towards your right side. Right foot comes forwards. I'm going to start to dip my hip down, 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 but I did not rest my hip on the ground. I'm going to just start to extend my right arm away from me while pushing very strongly into the ground with this left arm. All right, push to lift. So I'm really helping to switch on the muscles around my elbow joints, my wrists, my shoulders by consciously pushing. And if I don't, I start to sag. So press in order to help engage those muscles around the joints. We're going to hold it there for another 2 more deep full breaths. And if you're starting to shake in your arms, you just have your hands, both hands come down towards the ground, all right? And that's fine. Last one. And then very slowly, we're going to come back onto both hands. Come onto all fours first, right? And I'm going to face this side. So when we come into your seated pigeon, I'm going to have you start off on all fours first. Place your right knee towards your right wrist. Now your back leg, I'd like you to just start to extend it back like a giant worm trying to crawl away from you, right? So once you're there, your hips may not be this low towards the ground. They may be really, really high like here, and that's okay, right? So where I'd like you to feel the stretch is to the front of your left hip. For whichever leg is behind, you're going to feel that stretch here. Right? And if you're able to wiggle, wiggle, wiggle your front foot slightly closer towards the front. But it really depends on how your knee feels, how your hip joint feels. So at no point in time should you be feeling any sharp pain or pinching sensation. If you do, you just stop, you back it off a little bit. All right, once you do that, you'll feel a bit of a stretch around the outside of your right hip as well. So if you need to, keep your hands here, but if you're okay, cushion the back knee if you need to, all right, heads up. Cushion the back knee if you're trying to bring the back leg up. And if you can, grab a hold of that foot. If you can, pull the foot towards you. So you're going to feel that stretch across the front of your left thigh. Whichever leg that you're pulling in, you're going to feel the stretch to the front of that thigh. Such a good stretch for the knee as well. And you know what? I'm going to feel a really nice stretch across this shoulder also. Okay, so it does require a bit of balancing. And if you're not coming up down as low as I am, it may be a lot more challenging for you, right? So you are fine staying with both hands on the ground and keeping that back leg on the floor as well. I'm going to hold it here for just 2 more breaths. 1 more breath. And then very slowly, lower the foot down. And then we're going to change sides. So go ahead and place both hands down towards the ground first. Push into the floor and start to drag your front leg back. All right. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. Left knee, left hand. Slide the back leg further behind you. And then try to upright the spine a bit more. So you notice that I'm not leaning forwards, right? I'm actually trying to keep my shoulders somewhat over my hips. And that way, getting that stretch across this time, the front of the right hip. Right? So your hip flexors are getting a really nice stretch here, and that counters the effects of very long hours of sitting. Right? So if you're okay, we're going to now start to bend that back knee. You're fine if you choose not to, all right? But just make sure that you are stable before you start to lift that back leg, and perhaps reach back, catch that foot, and then maybe pulling in towards you. Right, so how far you go really depends on what your body allows you to do. So if you've been pretty sedentary, you've been pretty lazy over the weekend, tightness does set in. Think about how movement is therapy for you. In fact, for all of us, right? When we don't move, the body literally ages a lot faster. It dries up a lot faster. So give yourself a chance to lubricate the joints, the muscles, the connective tissue by moving the right way. Holding it here for another 3 and 2 and 1. Relax. I'm going to take it down. And where we're going to now, seated with your right leg towards the front. So go ahead and sweep that back leg towards the front. Now, I'd like you to make sure that you're able to keep your hips even. So pressing down evenly on both sides here. If you need to, just sit on a towel, right? So you don't end up rounding your back. And if you have to, front leg stays straight. So you notice that my back is not slouched at this point. If you're able to keep your back straight and upright with the leg extended this way, go ahead, right? So once we lean forwards, watch, don't follow me yet. I'm gonna lean forwards, but I'm gonna take my left hand. This is my right foot, okay? I'm gonna take my left hand outside the right foot. Now if I'm not able to catch the foot, I'm gonna just catch the calf. If I can't catch the calf, I bend my knee, okay? So take the options. If you can, follow me. We're gonna catch the outside of the right foot. Now at this point, I already feel a nice stretch across the back of my left ribs. All right, so really good area to stretch, especially if you have a lot of tightness in your back. All right, now if you're okay, we're gonna go further. Right arm reaches back. I'm gonna pull with my front arm to bring my left ear towards my right knee. Bring your ear towards your knee. And you try and look back at your fingers that are extending behind you. Now you're gonna feel a really nice stretch across the outside of your right hip as well. Right? So just make sure that you're not pushing yourself to the point where you are holding your breath. I'm gonna hold it here for another 3 more breaths. And 2. And 1. And very slowly coming back up. We're gonna do the same thing on the other side. I'm gonna extend my left leg forwards, right leg bends. This time, right hand outside right foot or outside the calf. Or bend the knee so that you can grab onto something, right? So depending on where you're able to reach, we're gonna extend your left arm back now. And you're gonna start to bring your right ear towards your left knee. So if you cannot, and you're just kind of like dangling down halfway, that's fine, right? So feel that stretch now along the back of your left thigh, back of your right hip, right? But if you need to bend that front knee, like I said, please go ahead and do that, right? So I'm trying to look back because that helps me to keep the back of my neck long as well. So there's a bit of a rotation around the neck also. I'm going to hold it here for another 3 more breaths. And 2. And 1. And relax. Slowly press to come back up. Now we're going for a supine spine twist this time, and it is a very good remedy for those of you who have sluggish digestive systems, but the stretches that we just did will prepare you for this next one. Although it's called catch the cat's tail, some of you are not going to be able to catch the tail today, so you just like try to catch the cat's tail. All right, so we're going to come onto your back first, and from here we're going to take both knees to bend. We're going to swing your hips over towards your right side of the mat. Hips to the right side. We're going to drop both legs over towards your left. Now, be sure not to straighten your legs too far, right? So we're going to keep the knees bent this way with your top leg extending towards your left hand. I'm going to use my left hand to catch my right foot. Once again, similar to what we did earlier. Catch the outside of the foot. If you cannot, catch the calf. If you cannot, you just catch the outside of your knee or your thigh. Now that bottom leg is the cat's tail. I'm going to reach it back, 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 and if I can, right hand catches the tail. If you can't, that's fine, right? So a few things happening here. Like I said earlier, this is a spine twist, so you will feel a lower back stretch more on one side. In this case, it's the right side. I'm going to feel that stretch across the outside of the right hip, whichever leg is on top. I'm also going to feel the stretch to the front of my left thigh, left hip, which is the leg below, the cat's tail. So I love multitasking, especially being a mom, right? So poses that give me a lot more bang out of the time that I'm doing it, I really enjoy, right? So you're getting a few things going on here. At the same time, massaging your internal organs with this spine twist. So you're kind of giving it a compression right now, giving it a squeeze. So in just 2 more breaths, we're going to release that pressure. And 1 more. And very slowly, bend the knees to bring them back together. And you're going to bring them back upwards. Swinging your hips this time, it may take 2 tries to go over towards the left side. And then you drop your knees over towards your right. Spine pop again. Okay, so left leg extends out so that the right hand can catch. Bottom leg, bring it back, bring it back, bring it back. And if you cannot catch, that's fine, you just stay there. If you can, you catch the cat still. Alright, so keep your chest facing the ceiling, keep your shoulders relaxed, and then breathe in a fashion that helps you to relax the body further. We are stretching, we're not really working here. Alright, so remember I mentioned those couple of weeks before as well. When we're stretching, don't try too hard. Right? So you don't want to go to the point where your body actually gets a signal that it might get injured and it starts to tense up. It really defeats the purpose of what you're trying to do here. Right? So with any stretches, the goal is to not try too hard. Okay? So use your breath as a guide. The moment you start to shallow breathe, it is time to back off. Right? Just holding it here for another 2 more breaths. And 1. And then very slowly coming back towards the center. And bring the feet together. Position your hips in the middle this time. We're going to have your feet about hip width distance apart. And we're going to lift the hips up towards the ceiling. Keep your chin tucked in towards your chest. If you need to, wiggle your armpits a bit closer towards your waist so your neck stays long on either side. Those who can, you might want to interlock your fingers, walk your shoulders closer towards the middle. A few more blood flow going to the face, the eyes, the throat, the head. If you can, catch your ankles. Lift your hips up higher. I'm going to hold it here for another 3 and 2 and 1. And then very slowly release, walk your shoulders away from one another. Let the hips come down. What I'd like you to do is to extend both legs out to the front. With your palms facing up, extend your arms alongside the frame of your body. Relax your shoulders, relax your neck, turn your head side to side a few times. Close your eyes. Keep your eyes closed. Don't cheat, Alright, so you're going to stay there for just 1 minute or so and just quietly observe what has shifted inside. Very often times we're just in the mode of go, 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 and we don't slow down enough to notice what else is happening to our bodies, right? So as you lay here, I'd like you to appreciate the time that you've spent for the past near an hour that helped to make your body more relaxed. For some of us who need that, more energized. For some of us who have been feeling sluggish for the longest time. And then also notice if some aches and pains have gone away. You heard me say earlier how movement is therapy. For all of us, it's not just some of us, all of us. Our bodies were meant to move on a daily basis, not 3 times a week, twice a week basis, every single day, in many, many movements, not just one direction, all directions, where your joints were naturally meant to move in. And when we don't do that, things start to dry up. So start to think of exercise as not just a way to get fitter and healthier, but really a way for us to be able to help the body function as it should be. Very slowly just turn towards your left side and start to push yourselves up to a seated position with your eyes still closed or half open. You're going to place your hands together and start to rub your palms vigorously, gathering some heat, some sunshine between them. Think of your eyes as windows. Bring your hands over to your eyes, but don't touch. You're going to feel the sunshine in through those windows, feel the heat, feel the warmth. And then very slowly take your hands back to heart center, eyes open. Namaste. Thank you so much, everybody, once again, for joining myself and Betsy this morning with Get Active TV on Rise and Shine. I look forward to seeing all of you again next week, but stay tuned for Kelly and Barbara as they take over from 10 o'clock onwards. All right, so have a wonderful week ahead, and I look forward to seeing you all again soon. Bye-bye.